Hello, it's Tam here, and I'm going to do, instead of wine and dollies, I'm going to do a tea and dollies, and I'm going to call it Spill the Tea. And I think I might do this monthly and come up with some interesting things to spill the tea about, and just have a fun chit chat. Today's is going to be about AnimeNorth and DollNorth and all of my opinion on how things went, and just tell you about my DollNorth weekend. Other than the hauls that I've shown you already in the videos, I'm just going to sit here and talk about DollNorth weekend. So, for starters, DollNorth is about an hour and a half away. So we decided to get to hotel with a friend. I decided to hotel with a friend. My boys hoteled in the same hotel but a different room. So technically I had two rooms to bounce back and forth just to keep an eye on how things were going with them. And then if needed a second bathroom, it was available, and it was a nice hotel. The stay was good. Price, Toronto prices. Good thing we only do this once a year, because the price for the Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night was almost for the boys' room, plus my portion of the room I spent with my friend was pretty much my month's rent. Thank goodness credit cards. You book on with credit cards, because now I have time to pay off the boys' room. And yeah, so that was starters. We got there. Traffic was awesome. I'm going to have a 407 bill, but that's okay too, because that's the road I prefer to drive than the 401. So yeah, we got up there Thursday, met up at the hotel. My friend Raquel got there. I thought we'd be the first ones because we were going to be there a little early, probably a half hour early, and she messaged me when I was about 10 minutes out and said, I'm at the hotel, I'm in line. And I'm like, sweet, I'll be there soon, meet up with you. So we were able to check in at the same time, which was awesome. Got our rooms, got up to our rooms, decided who was having what space, you know, that kind of stuff, the stuff you do. Sat on the beds, and they were okay. I have slept on better beds at hotels. I was kind of disappointed in the bed, but such is life. We did not include the breakfast because it was pricey, so we had to figure out breakfasts and stuff while we were there. Thank goodness there was a Tim Hortons nearby. That's where we mostly went for breakfast. So Thursday, like I said, we got there about 2:30. Check-in was for 3. Luckily enough, they started earlier than that with the lineup. And then at 5 o'clock, we could go pick up our AnimeNorth lanyards, which I have mine here, and I meant to show you. And I just realized I forgot to show you one thing in the haul for the AnimeNorth side, because I still have it in my purse. So this was bought in the dealer's room. And I love Friends. It's a coaster. So I had to, yeah. So anyway, you go and you pick up your lanyard. And obviously I have my name on the front. Signature on the back, just in case you lose it. And then we got this cool little card. And with this, you could go get something free from this booth. So we ended up doing that. And I didn't end up getting something free. You had to join the groups, that person's Instagram, and then you got to win the ticket, and I didn't get anything free. I got 5% off of a purchase. So needless to say, it wasn't worth it for me. I didn't do the 5% off a purchase because But one of the boys, or both of the boys, ended up with coins, and they had little like coin machines, like what you see at grocery stores with bouncy balls and stuff, that kind of look in them. And oh, you finished that treat that quickly, did you? Great. We're going to be through this bag of treats if I want to keep him quiet. Anyway, they won a couple coins, so they got something. There you go. Have another small one. That's it for now. Then be quiet. So they got something small and whatnot. So anyway, this is already 5 minutes in, and I'm not even off a Thursday night. So we went, got lined up, got our tags with our doll, our AnimeNorth Mysterious Goodness lanyards. And I think that's who the freebie was from too. Yeah. And then we met up with one more friend of Raquel's. So there was Raquel, myself, my boys, our friend Paul, and her friend Kim. Which I've met Kim before. The 5 of us went out to Montana's for supper and had a great time for supper. And then we went back to our hotel rooms to get settled and to work on whatever we needed to work on for either cosplay, AnimeNorth, whatever. So while we were that Thursday night, we decided at the last minute, I had asked Raquel probably 2-3 weeks before that, if she was going to enter any of the AnimeNorth costumes or contests, which they do a costume contest, they do a photo contest, and then they do the a twinning contest, and then they do the Project Runway. We knew we were doing Project Runway, but at the last minute we decided to go into their costume contest. So the rules of the costume contest is, I'll read it right off of the AnimeNorth site. This year's theme will be plants and flowers. Show us how you'd interpret such an open theme with your mushroom fairies, your grass suits, your flower petal dresses, and more. We strongly suggest you pre-register to enter, which we didn't, but there was lots of room. We are accepting nearly all doll types. So years ago it used to just be BJDs. Now they accept like Monster High and pretty much anything, I guess, under a, like, yeah, some size restrictions apply. So anyway, so enter your BJD, your Barbies, your Monster Highs, action figures, and more. Lucky, you've had your share of treats. Now you can lay down while I do the rest of this video, please, and not in their space of seeing you. Come on, over here. Come on. Get over here. They love you. They really do, but they don't want to see this up close and personal. Put my teacup down so I can move a dog. So yeah, lay down. No more treats for now. So, to read the rules and find pre-registration information, click here. Oh, I need to go over to the website because I forgot to click there. Click here. So, registration, like I said, we didn't end up doing. It used to be called a masquerade. Now it's just called a contest. Lucky. Asking your doll scale, 1/3, 1/4, 1/6, or other. Lucky, out of the way. Are you a novice? This is if you've never won one of the ones in the past years. If you've won, then you are experienced. And if you haven't won, you're novice. And if you're under 18, you're a young fan, so you go under that. Sorry. Have you read the rules, and are you aware of the need to pick up your doll on Sunday afternoon? Yes. So where are the rules? Because that's not the rules, that's just the registration. So anyway, rules for photo contest are here. So anyway, to our understanding was, as long as you use flowers on your project and plants and yeah, flowers, plants, outdoorsy, you could enter. Doesn't say much in that area about anything being judged on your sewing or anything like that. So we're in the hotel room. There's 3 of us. We're ordering through Instacart some flowers and stuff. We're going through what we have in our collection of flowers and stuff. Can you stop? You're not getting any more. Lay down. So I had my tiny clover, which I decided to use her. I found some flowers and I just tied them. Oh, and somewhere it says the stand. Had to be a stand of 18 centimeters. As I said, I can't seem to find the actual rules on here today for it, but we had read the rules somewhere. So I did. I found flowers, crown, and this was my entry for Clover. Put my name on her, little sign with the number. Got a lot of, oh, she's cute. Didn't expect to win. Raquel put a lot more into her details. Did some sewing even with materials we had because she's a sewer. And I happen to have my sewing thing with me. Did some sewing, did some fun stuff, entered hers. Paw entered hers, did some sewing. I did absolutely no sewing. So we entered them. Nobody said anything. We, voted for our fan favorites and went on our cheery way. This was Friday morning. So then in that same area, you could enter for the photo contest, which none of us did. And again, following the rules of the photo contest, there were a couple that I didn't feel followed it completely, in my personal opinion. So again, photo contest was a secret garden theme. Enter one photography, must be on an 8x10 mounted on a firm card or cardstock. No frames will be accepted. I saw a few 8x10s. I didn't feel them, but it didn't look like they had a cardstock behind the photo, because I would have probably left a little bit of a little tiny border so you knew it was on a cardstock heavy photo, but they weren't, in my opinion, didn't look like it. Like I said, I didn't touch them. You must have passes. Awards will be granted for both fan favorite, best execution of the theme, and additionals if there was awards maybe added during the convention. Don't need to be present during the judging. Drop off their photos and pick them back up on Sunday. Label them on the back with the entry number and your name. Can't use them from other years because every year they change it anyway. So you can use the same doll in that photo, but you can't use the same photo because every year they change the theme. 6-7 years ago, I did one. It was a candy theme. So there's no way I could have used that picture. honestly, I don't even know where that picture went, which kind of sucks because it'd be good to have, but I don't know where it went. So next year, I plan on doing the photo contest. I plan on doing this the costume contest too, as they call it, costume. There's no masquerade anymore. Are encouraged to use minimum amounts of digital enhancements to the photo. Focus of image should be the dolls with creative props, backdrops, costumes, locations, etc. To depict the theme, this photography contest, not a photo shoot contest. Photos are PG because there's kids at these events as well. And all dolls are valid for it. So pretty easy standard to follow, in my opinion. Didn't do it. Twinning contest. I thought of this one, but again, I didn't do it. Is to pretty much dress like your doll. Submit a photograph of you and your doll matching outfits for a chance to win. There's no theme for twinning contests, so feel free to dress yourself and your doll however you like, as long as you match as closely as possible. I have a Wonder Woman dress, and I have a Wonder Woman dress for a 15-inch American Girl doll. And I thought about trying to get that one on my Smart Doll and doing it, but I didn't. So maybe next year I'll try the twinning. You submit them on Instagram with a hashtag DN Twin 2005. Or you can go to the contest display area and the staffer will take your photo and upload it for you. So that's pretty cool. May not reuse ones from other years. Pretty straightforward. So that one I'm going to probably try again next year. So that was Friday morning. We got all that ready, dropped that off. Sorry, I went out on a tangent and read you the others. So we also sat down Thursday night to figure out what we'd like to go to. And Friday morning, the con didn't start till 5 p.m. so we had lots of time to get ready for it. And so we went through it and we figured out what we want to do. So, anyway, Friday was the swap meet. Started at 7, the AnimeNorth swap meet started at 7 p.m. Hang out with fellow collectors and trade what you don't need for what you do. This is a pro artist space. Recasts are banned. $5 cover charge for a table space. And if you have more questions, ask at the door. So at 7 o'clock, we all went to that. It overlapped with a few other things on the anime side. This is the booklet, by the way, that I'm reading out of. The anime side that we wanted to do. And so, that being said, there was a couple of things we missed out on. And vice versa. There was anime side overlapping with AnimeNorth side. If you were there for both cons. So, we chose what was important to us. I would have loved to gone to the Kingdom Hearts trivia thing, but Nominachi was my next priority after the doll swap. So I missed that. So that was, and then we had to sign up on the Friday for a panel. It was a crime scene panel that we wanted to do. So we had to sign up for that on the Friday as well. And sign up for a Japanese tea that we wanted to do. So that was Friday. Saturday was a pretty laid back day. Morning. Started early, but we chose to skip the first thing we had planned first thing in the morning just because we weren't 100% ready and we wanted to get our, like, my friend was role playing or cosplaying and had a photo shoot for the cosplay at 2 in the afternoon, so they were getting ready and stuff. There was an intro to BJD's panel. I had thought about going to, but with a rough night's sleep the night before, I didn't end up going. That rough night's sleep was, first we were late getting to bed. Secondly, I got a phone call from my dad saying he was going up to the hospital at 1:30, quarter to 2 in the morning, so I didn't sleep good. So that, and then Saturday I was up trying to keep in contact with my mom and dad, because my mom ended up with my dad at the hospital. And no, they don't live together. My dad lives with me, my mom lives somewhere else, but they still get along. So she was nice and drove into town, because she doesn't live, she's about 45 minutes away. She drove and went with him to the hospital. So in the morning, I was still trying to figure out what was going on. And so I did miss a few things that I was looking forward to just because of the stress. My dad is okay. So yeah, I missed the intro to BJD's. I want to find the little write-up. I thought it would be cool to read the write-ups to you, and I didn't do that. I was gonna highlight them and I totally forgot to do that before. And this book, yes, it was great, but it was kind of all over the place. They didn't have AnimeNorth stuff all in one section. They didn't have all the same days on the same page. What day is that? That's Saturday. So maybe introduction to BJD. There we go. Learn the basics of the hobby, the artistry behind the dolls, doll etiquette, how to get started collecting, and meet other collectors and dolls. I've been a collector for 8 years. I really didn't need to attend, but it would have been kind of neat to hear what they had to say, and that's why I thought about it. So with not needing to attend, I didn't mind missing it. Secondly, we had the doll market ran Saturday from like noon to 4, but again, overlapped with things we wanted to do, so you had to squish that time in. And if you were a doll market table, you wouldn't be able to do the panels because you had to be at your table, unless you had someone that sat at your table for you while you went for the panels. Doll market, I know, is some artists, and yes, that's what they come for. That's fine, but I do know some were in attendees as well. So it just kind of made my time short for doll market because I had these panels I wanted to go to. Like I said, friends had photo shoot that ran over that time. There was a doll customization that I was interested in, but again, I didn't make it to it. I ended up going to the doll market during this time. Or no, I did go to this one, the business of custom work. Learn tips and tricks for customizing dolls, as well as running a small business and growing your social media with Sugar Lump, a Canadian artist who has been working on dolls for 8 years. I did end up at that one. I went to the marketplace before it, and then I went to marketplace for a very short time after it because I had somewhere to be as soon as it ended. I just happened to run into my friends there. They were getting something quick, so I went back in for 30 seconds. And like I said, I went in for doll marketplace and I bought something just before the doll customization. So I didn't have a ton of time. I had about a half hour. So I didn't get to see everything at the market, which, you know, kind of sucked for me, but that was because timing. So then we had a crime scene investigation. We signed up for that, okay? We went and we signed up. They were taking numbers because they knew it would be a, I'm going to pull out the stuff that we kind of did. Nope, that's not it. There is a bag here with it though. because it was really kind of neat. I'm missing the bag of stuff. Here it is. No, that's one of my wigs. Huh. I don't see it here. Huh. Anyway, it was kind of neat how it was set up. It was a Toronto, one of the police departments setting up a crime scene. That was years ago, so they had no, we couldn't sue them in any way because the crime scene was acted. Hey, they haven't emailed me my pictures I took yet. Interesting, because we did do, like, we had different stations. The exhibit stations, which we had to number and take pictures like you do at a crime scene. We had fingerprint indications, so they had little cards. We had to look at a partial print to try to figure it out with the handprint or the fingerprint of the person who did the crime. Footwear identification. I didn't end up getting to that station because we ran out of time. And then a UV, we did UV, and what we could find on a tin was a fingerprint. Coca-Cola can was like spit, in my opinion. The bag had a powder residue on it, and the paper said Death Angel on it. It was really kind of cool how you got to use their powder and do it. But anyway, back to lining up for this. So we had signed up. Like I said, we had things run, and it started at 3. We had things run till 3, and then had to get to a different building. So we were running, and when we got there, they told us it was full, that they weren't letting any more in. And we were only about 5 minutes late because we had to run. And we didn't think that was very fair. But then they finally, which again, I don't feel is fair. They hadn't let them into the room. So there was about 6 of us that were that little bit late. And these guys were lining up, but they weren't in yet. So they took us and put us in front of the ones that they were going to replace us with in the lineup, and then told them that they made a mistake so they couldn't get in. Well, in my opinion, that should have been ran differently. We signed up on Friday for a reason. There was a sign-up list. They should have given us a little bit more leeway to get there before opening up to anybody else. Sure, we didn't show up in 10 minutes. I get it. But give us a little bit of time from running from one place to another place with the amount of people that were there. Anyway, so we got in. We were lucky. So, and then again, because of the crime scene investigation, we had to miss a couple other anime stuff we thought would be really cool to go to and learn about. Okay, and then that evening I was going to go again to another one called AnimeNorth Rec Room Art. Here it is. But again, just the way my day went, the stress of my day, I ended up back at the hotel room for a little bit of a lay down with the way my night, and still figuring out my dad. So I didn't end up going, but this one was like doll clothing, be it for fashion dolls, BJDs, or plush, can be far trickier than human size. And Gwen from Rec Room Art Designs is here to share her many years of experience with you. So it was learning how to make doll clothes or tips on what to use for doll clothes and stuff. I think that would have been really cool to go to, but again, just with the way life was that weekend, I didn't end up making it to that one. I was too tired, and there was some other stuff that I needed to do, like dinner, make sure my kids were fine. So I didn't end up at that one, which was okay. Then we got dinner, and then that night we went to what was called 404 Comedy Show, and they are improv comedy that is from Toronto, and it was really nice entertainment. So that was Friday. Here I am at a half hour. Hopefully I'm not boring you. If I am, no, that was Saturday, sorry. If I am boring you, sorry. So then Sunday was a Japanese tea, 9 o'clock in the morning. Really good. I posted some photos on my Instagram because I did take my doll Samantha, my smart doll Samantha, with me because she had to come to the Project Runway with me. And I enjoyed sipping Japanese tea. Some of them were, I do like my teas. Some of them were not my taste. And a couple of them were. But do I know the names of them? No. In that panel, they explained how they're grown, how to make them. It was great. But I didn't buy any. And that's okay. I'll try it again maybe next time. And maybe like something different. Maybe bring some home. But me, I like my Tim Hortons steep tea. So here I am. My Tim Hortons steep tea brewed in my Keurig at home. So then after that was Project Runaway. Project Runaway, the rules for that is bring a doll. Any non-recast dolls are not allowed. Any non-recast. Recast dolls are not allowed. Which that's a big thing in the hobby, and I understand it. And so I'm not going to get into it. And be prepared to create a whole new outfit for them with the mystery materials we supply. It's chaotic and fun and always a great way to show off your creative skills. This is a low stakes, all ages event. Just keep in mind the hot glue sometimes gets everywhere. So it was fun. We're at a table of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. 2 hot glue guns. A table across the room of supplies we can use. And we come up with an outfit. There was one table. They were a different category. They were considered the hard category, which Raquel went to with her smart doll. So that left me the only 1/3 size doll in the category, my category. And so I got a prize by default. I put up a short yesterday of a short video of my doll's completed outfit. I have her here. It's not all, some has fallen apart since I've been home because I carried her home in it, and I'll show her in a minute. So the card category, we're given a paper bag about this size with limited supplies, and that's what they were allowed to use, whatever was in their paper bag. They weren't allowed to go to the other table to get stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool how they did do that section, that one table, a little differently. I'm almost done my tea. It's getting cold. I just want to finish it. So anyway, needless to say, I'm sitting at a table with 5 other people, working away on Samantha, enjoying my time, laughing, sharing, and like I said, some of this is falling apart. I wouldn't mind redoing it somehow so she can have it for permanent because I do like what I made. But she doesn't sit well in her skirt. It rises right up. So this is Samantha. I just used a petal and that was her hat because I wasn't fighting to get a wig back on her. This leaf likes to go in front of her face. It's supposed to be in behind her arm somehow, but it keeps falling off. See what I mean? Our hat doesn't stay on. But I want to make it into a hat sometime. So, again, it was garden flowery. So I took a piece of material and hot glued it around her. So it was like a half top up on her. Don't want to show off. Up on her. And then I did glue, put your arm down, sweetheart. I did glue one of these matching leaves up here, but like I said, it's fallen off since. The video that was taken right after she was complete is on my channel from, I posted it yesterday. Thank you, Raquel, for taking that at the con, because I didn't even think to do that part, so thank you. And then her skirt is pink tulle, and then fabric leaves. And I just glue gunned it onto the skirt. I measured her body, glue gunned the size of her skirt together, and then prayed I could get it up over her hips when I put it on, because I did not make it on her because I didn't want to get glue on her. So then I glue gunned all the leaves, and then I took a green vine, leaf vine, and just added it to her arm, which I think is great, except for this one leaf today. The day of, it didn't go in her face like it is today. This stayed up better the day of. And then I made shoes, which are not on her feet, and unfortunately can only find one today, and I had to move it. Oh, there it is. And Raquel, in her bag, had these pink leaves. The pink flowers weren't on our table. I went over and she wasn't using them, so I stole them. So I put that on the top with the leaves, and she had these leaves too, and she didn't end up using them on hers, so I took them from her. Figured her table was free game too when they weren't using it. And then little burlap piece I folded and tried to make, so this is the back slipper type, and that's how I made her shoes. And the other one went the opposite way, so the leaves on this one would have been her left foot, and then her right foot, the leaves were going to the outside. So that's how I made her outfit and got first for her outfit. So that was a lot of fun. We did that, and then after that we went back over to the anime side and went through the dealer's room and stuff. Picked up our doll. No, sorry. Then we went to what was called a AnimeNorth tea party. That's where we found out who were the winners of the big contest that we had submitted in on Friday morning. So we found out those winners, and then there was supposed to be a tea party, but the hotel screwed up and never brought tea, so we didn't get the tea party side of things. And then we were asked to go pick up our dolls, so we did. Well, when we got back and we all knew we weren't going to win, we weren't expecting to win, but when we got back to pick them up, I didn't get told anything about my lack of sewing, but I know I was lack of sewing on mine. I didn't touch a needle with mine. But both Raquel and Pa were told if they had had more sewing involved, that there would have been a good chance that the judges, that they could have won, because they were close, but it went on sewing. Well, that wasn't anywhere in the rules to what I could see. Like I said, I can't find the actual rules where it said what stand and height and all that limits. But we don't recall reading those in the rules. And not everyone can sew. I suck at it. But I'm going to try for next year. But to me, it's a fun contest. It shouldn't be based on perfection. And I hope next year it's not so much based on perfection. And that we can just, or if it is, have different categories. Someone that knows how to sew, people that know how to sew, this category. People that don't know how to sew and is trying hard, this category. So have different winners, more categories. This is my opinion. The other thing is, and I know it's time frames. I know it's a busy weekend. They try to put a lot into one weekend, and when you go for AnimeNorth and you go for AnimeNorth, you miss some. That's understandable. But for those, because the first year I went for AnimeNorth only. I did not go for the anime side. This year, if I had gone for the AnimeNorth only and wanted to hit every single panel, I wouldn't have been able to. Some of them overlapped. Other interesting panels. Time frames overlapped, which I'm guessing is more the hotel space and room space and when rooms are available. But I would hope that when planning time, because I know this takes a lot of planning. I'm not bashing those who plan. It just would be nice for the cost of your weekend tickets, because you do AnimeNorth, you do AnimeNorth, it's the same cost. So you get 2 in 1 if you're going to both sides. But if you're only going for the AnimeNorth side, because the AnimeNorth side has a lot more, which I know the AnimeNorth side had an issue and has lost clientele over the years ago, and we're not as big as we used to be, but we're building again, which is nice. I think it's great that it's building again on a whole new ball game, court, whatever you want to call it. But it would be nice if the doll side of things didn't overlap each other. So that way you could plan your whole weekend around doll stuff without missing some other important doll thing, or not as important doll thing, depending on how. So you have to go through this booklet, and it would, I guess most of the doll stuff is on one page. It would be nice if it was kind of their own, like, because they're all sections. So this is saying they're all based on their rooms, I guess. TTC South, like, in that sense. But even if AnimeNorth even had, and then they put you back here so you can really find out where things are, and they give you a map of it, the buildings and stuff, which is great. But even if they talk, whoever prints this out and whoever plans, if they put a AnimeNorth on like 2 pages and highlight this like they did here, so this is all AnimeNorth got as a highlight, and then nowhere else in the book does it say AnimeNorth. It just has your panels on your days and what booths, what panels they are, and what building they're in. So to find what you wanted to do, you had to search and search and search, which is okay, because there's lots you want to do. But if they had done AnimeNorth, the introduction stuff, and then AnimeNorth panels all here, because in each of these, it says what room they're in too. So if they'd done that, it would have been easier to find your AnimeNorth stuff. And then your AnimeNorth stuff can be chaotic, because it's a lot bigger. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this whole rant. My tea is gone. 42 minutes of talking. Showed you my entries. As I said, I will be re-entering the fun day next year, as long as I go. We're planning on going again, so we're going to start saving. And going to enter the other contest this coming year, and we're going to start, Raquel and I and Pa have decided we're going to start meeting a couple months beforehand and work together. Raquel will show us some cool sewing techniques, because she's learning it all and knows it all. Not knows it all, she's a good sewer. I trust her anyway. So we're going to probably meet up at her place when her craft room is done. Go over to her channel, watch her stuff, yeah, make some fun content for our channels, make some fun stuff for our AnimeNorth, and be really prepared for next year, and to have even more fun next year at AnimeNorth/AllNorth. I want to cosplay with them next year. Jacob already knows what he wants for next year cosplay, so I've asked her for her help on that, because again, I'm not a sewer and it's detailed. And so yeah, it's going to be a fun year. Look forward to talking more about that as the year comes. Jacob's costume, I think I have to knit him a long scarf for it, so you might see that, working on that in one of my videos coming up. So stay tuned. Hope you've made it to the end of this jibber jabber, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye bye for now.